Okay, so I'm Melody from NTU GreenSparks, Singapore. Nice to meet all of you. I'm glad to be here to present about my group, and I hope that this presentation will inspire others to start their own local groups or take up similar sustainability projects. Okay, and without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so let me start off with how NTU GreenSparks came to be. The group started in 2020 when one of our members joined a local climate students group in Sweden and was inspired to start a local group in Singapore, pushing for change in the universities. So it started between a few friends, and we started by reaching out to existing student groups in Singapore to understand better the current situation in the country, consider and gather ideas about what we can do for sustainability, and think about starting a national organization. As for me, I found out about this group in 2021 when my friends who are in NTU GreenSparks recommended it to me. So I joined the group as I was interested in sustainability and wanted to do my part in pushing for sustainability in NTU. Our goals are to promote transparency of figures on the carbon emissions in NTU, get NTU to set a goal to reduce their emissions on science-based targets, reduce emissions through start changing our power source to cleaner energy, source from more environmentally friendly companies, and raise awareness about recycling and other individual efforts made in NTU, etc. And strengthen national network between universities for better cooperation. We hope to achieve this by connecting with the higher ups in our university and influence from there. So our group has two subgroups, the social group and the campaign subgroup. The social group is in charge of creating promotional materials for our events and promoting events on our socials, such as Instagram. They are also in charge of managing and maintaining our social accounts, such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. They also create the NTU GreenSparks website and will continue to update it. The campaign subgroup, which I'm a part of, plans and hosts events. For example, documentary viewing events, panel discussion, and contacting key people such as the NTU Sustainability Office and potential collaborators such as other student green groups or sustainability organizations. We also draft proposals for any form of initiatives. For example, like pushing for a sustainability executive for the student union in NTU, which I will talk about more later. So now I'll talk about some of our past events. One of our events include like setting up a panel during a university-wide exhibition in March 2022. We were able to exhibit with the help of another student green group called Earthlink. The topic we presented in the exhibition panel is about how land clearing impacts biodiversity. Another one was a documentary viewing, which we titled The Tide Talks, and it was held during Sustainability Month. The documentary we played during the event was about how certain corals are able to thrive despite rising sea temperatures due to climate change. During the event, participants watched the documentary and discussed it among themselves. To encourage discussions, we prepared discussion questions and also participate in the discussion and gave our thoughts on the documentary. And previously, we also created a sustainability service, which is the NTU opinion poll, as we wanted to understand how students in NTUs view sustainability. We got about 30 plus participants for our survey. And recently, we also held another two events. One of them was a panel discussion, which was held on the 1st of September. Before the event, we wrote up a proposal for the event and planned out details such as the purpose of the event, timing and location, and the schedule of the event. The purpose behind the panel discussion was to start a dialogue between the Sustainability Office, academic staff, and students to encourage university-wide dialogue about structural change regarding climate and sustainability issues at a university level and raise awareness about it. Hence, we invited panelists from various organizations such as EOS, Arion, which are energy research institutes, and etc. We also invited a representative from the Sustainability Office to our panel discussion. For the student side, we invited another student green group called NTU Divest and a few students to present during the panel discussion. The purpose behind this is to give our students a platform to voice their thoughts, and then the panelists will comment on the presentations. The panel discussion went well for our first major event, and we are about 15 participants at maximum, which is an improvement from our documentary viewing event where the participant count was single digit. The other event we held about a week ago was a collaboration with another student green group from Germany, Students for Future from Bremen University. They found out about our group on the Climate Students Movement website and asked if we want to collaborate with them. We accepted their offer and we held Zoom meetings to discuss about what project we want to work together. Eventually, we decided to hold a climate justice dialogue where one professor from NTU and University of Bremen each will give a lecture on a topic related to climate justice. One of the difficulties our group faced when preparing for this event is finding a speaker. As climate justice is not a hot topic in Singapore, we had trouble finding a speaker that could talk about this topic. Luckily, we were able to find a speaker who held a lecture on food insecurity to participate in our event. So our actions is we would like to establish our goals and the directions we like to take, set up social media accounts, which we did. And we are part of the Inter-University Environmental Coalition in Singapore, which is the coalition of university pushing for sustainability in Singapore. We joined to be a part of the Climate Students Movement and research into NTU reporting on sustainability in 2017 and 2018. We spoke with our NTU project officer and drafted concerns to university and conducted a sustainability service on climate issues in NTU. We also held a university climate pitch with groups from Malta and Sweden and joined NTU's Earthling Biodiversity with the exhibition. Sorry. So currently our current focus is to push for a sustainability executive in NTUSU. We created a roles and responsibilities list of what the sustainability executive would do in the student union. We believe that this will be beneficial in raising awareness about the ability to make structural change as a student, thus engaging more students in more sustainability-related activities and action. A person responsible or two will allow them to dedicate time to sustainability initiatives as opposed to having it as a side project, allowing for quicker change while also acting as a way to show that our students do care about the issues and it is a priority for our students. We are also pushing for a sustainability secretary/director in the NTU Hall Councils. Currently, we are working with the Hall Councils and we are starting a training session soon in October. We also engage in a local organization called the Climate Conversation, who are also willing to help us start this training session. And although we haven't managed to engage many halls, we are happy to start with where we can and hopefully expand into all the halls over time. Along the way, the university announced that they were setting up a sustainability office. We'll be releasing yearly reports again, as the last sustainability report stopped in 2017. It then became one of our goals to also get in contact with them, understand their perspective, and to work together with them to hopefully influence change. While there were some difficulties in the initial conversations, and it seemed that they were a little bit defensive, we were both persistent and tried to be understanding and established that we wanted to collaborate and work with them. Currently, they are willing to work together with us, which is great. And we are waiting for the upcoming sustainability report, which is aimed to be released at the end of the year. And after that, we have a plan to do an upscale survey project with them. Our previous sustainability surveys launch gave us experience in this area. And we hope that we'll be able to reach more students and staff through this round and to also make use of this opportunity to gather interested students to do some focus group discussions on how we can move forward as a university. While planning out and executing these projects, we also went into some difficulties along the way. One of the difficulties we face is lack of manpower. As for now, our group is very small with only 5 active members. On top of that, we have external commitments such as tutorials and exams during the semester. As a result, we sometimes struggle to find time to work on our projects, which means we have to delay some of them. For example, the panel discussion I talked about earlier was originally meant to be held last year, but it was pushed to this year. This also means that it is difficult for us to participate in external sustainability projects or events. Another challenge we face is publicizing our group. Although we publicize our events and our groups often on Instagram, we have difficulty attracting people to participate in our events and to join as a member of our group. Hence, we have to think of ways to set ourselves apart from the other green groups in our universities and to catch people's attention. During my time in NTU GreenSparks, I have learned a lot from my fellow group members and my experience working in this group. Before joining this group, I was very shy and was afraid of presentations and speaking out in public. My experience in the campaign group has helped me feel more comfortable with speaking out. Because, for example, when we have meetings, we will take turns to host and lead each meeting, and combine this with the opportunities to present, I feel more confident and less afraid of speaking. Being in NTU GreenSparks also allowed me to understand different perspectives and approaches regarding sustainability due to exposure with other student green groups, local or overseas, and other organizations such as the Sustainability Office when we collaborated with them. This also helped widen my scope on sustainability, not just on an individual level, but also on a structural level. This is the end of my presentation. Our Instagram and emails on this slide. Please feel free to ask me any questions or give any suggestions if you have any. Thank you for your attention.